So, welcome to my series where I'm going over each section of the bankruptcy petition. If you're learning about bankruptcy or if you're going to file your own bankruptcy, I go through every single part here. Of course, you could always visit my blog, bankruptcy.blog, where I go over a lot of information as well. And so these videos are even transcribed into a blog format if that makes it easier for you. Now, on my blog, you'll be able to see a link that shows you that gives you access to all the different bankruptcy courts, trustees, and explain the exemptions. I'm going through each single state one by one. But also, there's a separate link where it has other series of this. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a separate folder just to see the bankruptcy schedules. Now, today, there's some forms that are basically simple. There's really not a lot to look at. This form here, the declaration about an individual debtor schedule, is one of those, official form 106 DEC. But when they're simple like this, there's things then that I just want to point out potential issues. Okay, so the form is simple as you can see it. You're just going to put here your district, where this case is being filed. Make sure to get that correct. And as you see here, you're just putting here if anyone else helped you other than a lawyer fill out these forms. I'm giving you my experience. I know whether it's bankruptcy or divorce, a lot of times, if it's a paralegal that did it, and realistically, it doesn't even have to be a paralegal. Some states require certification to be a paralegal. I know California's that, having taught at a couple schools there. Um, but I do see a lot of errors and a lot of mistakes. And so that is my warning with this form here. I know you want to save money, maybe not hire a lawyer, but bankruptcy lawyers tend to offer flexible payment plans. And more importantly, they get it right. And you see, the problem with bankruptcy is it's not just completing forms, just like divorces. It's not just completing the forms, it's knowing what the issues are. If there's anything that lawyers are trained on, is we are taught to realize what the issues are. So anybody can grab a 20-page marital settlement agreement off the internet or a prenuptial agreement, but what are the issues? And so I've always said we have to look into the legal crystal ball. We can read a paragraph or a sentence and say this could lead to this, and so that paragraph or sentence has to be edited. And it's the same thing with bankruptcy. So just understand that if you're using a paralegal, you first have to, of course, file this form, and just understand that my experience has been there's a lot of issues. I have had cases where clients were close to losing their homes, where judges bent the rules a little bit just to prevent that. After I told them this was a paralegal that did all this work, it wasn't my office. I'm just here to clean up the mess, etc. And if you ask 25 bankruptcy lawyers, they're going to tell you each of them at least one story that they dealt with where something went wrong when they had a form filler or a bankruptcy petition preparer prepare the documents for them. So I just say that as a warning. Keep it in mind. If anything, I would suggest if you're going down that road, maybe consider hiring a lawyer just to review your documents. Because again, what we see are the potential issues. A paralegal or a bankruptcy petition preparer cannot give you legal advice. So they may not, a lot of times you just read the rules and say, oh, okay, you haven't used your credit cards in 90 days. I can go ahead and file for bankruptcy. And that's not true. It's not really that simple. Oh, the transfer was more than 2 years ago, because they look at the statement of financial affairs, what only asks for 2 years. The reality is trustees go way past 2 years all the time, especially depending on state law. So please keep that in mind. Okay. So if you are using someone who's a bankruptcy petition preparer under the bankruptcy code, make sure that this form is filed. As always, any questions or comments, feel free to post them in the comment section below.